Origi! Yeah! He's doing it! Yeah! Unbelievable!
Hello and welcome to the Liverpool Way podcast. The Reds are out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stage after losing 2-0 against Paris Saint-Germain at Anfield, 4-0 on aggregate. Arne Slot's side gave a much better accounting of themselves, but the goal just wouldn't come, and ultimately a late Dembele double meant the scoreline was the same as last week. Liverpool's last chance of silverware has officially been extinguished with 6 games left to return to the Champions League next season. The Reds will have to do it without Hugo Ekitike, who appeared to suffer a serious injury in the first half. I'm Chris Smith, and I'm joined by TLW editor Dave Usher and Julian Richards. Dave, what's your take on that? I'm kind of torn between thinking we gave it a good go and lacked a bit of luck, and sort of thinking that little late flourish from them could have happened at any time. You know, they decided to just flick the switch. What do you make?
Yeah, I agree with that. Other than the luck part, I don't really think that comes into it. I know you can maybe point to the penalty, but I didn't think it was a penalty, but once it's given, probably shouldn't be overturned. But no, I'm with you. That I felt like they could step it up at any point. We did have a good spell, like probably from about 50 to 65, maybe, something like that. We had momentum, but they were penned in. They barely managed to do anything. Like, they couldn't keep the ball, whereas in the first half, they were just really comfortable. Putting loads of little passing moves together and stuff, and then second half they weren't doing that. We were playing a bit more intensity. We had them penned in, and you felt like, okay, if it's going to happen, we need to score now while we're in this spell, and we didn't. And then obviously they get the goal, and once they got that, it just completely killed it then, because like even when you get to 5 minutes left, if they hadn't have got that goal, even with only 5 minutes left, you're still in it, because you know if you score, they're going to shit themselves, the crowd's going to be up, and you could get another one. But the third goal, once they got that, that was just game over. But let's be honest, it should have been 3, 4, 5 last week. You know, we got away with that last week, and although I don't think we deserve to lose the game tonight, we can't really complain when we should have been battered last week. So 4-0 over the 2 legs, I'd say is probably accurate. I hesitate to even say we had a go, because we had a little bit of a go in the second half, but the first half was just really flat and not really nothing to get your teeth into. No, there was no fire and brimstone, which is what you're expecting. You know, Anfield, European night, against the odds, you're looking for the fire and brimstone, which just wasn't there. We just haven't got it. This team is just not good enough to do that. Even like the second half, when we were having a bit of a go, it wasn't great. It was just, okay, this is better, but it wasn't anything, you know, to write home about. And yeah, well beaten over the 2 legs, which is what most of us were expecting when the draw's made. You're looking at it and going, okay, we could win, but we're probably not going to win, because they're much better than us. And yeah, they are much better than us, and it was there to see. You know, 4-0 did not flatter them, did it, really? You know, it's about right, and not much that we can take from that. And then, as you said in the intro, losing Ekitike, which it looks a really bad one. Like, if it is his Achilles, that's not, you know, he's not even going to be back for the start of next season if it's that. So yeah, just a bad night really all round.
Jules, was there at any point during the evening where you thought like something not necessarily something special might happen, but we might find our way back into the tie and make it a bit trickier for them?
No, not at any point. That was a very meek performance. Anyone who thinks that was like a decent performance worthy of pulling us level or going through in the tie is just like, Blondie, you're dreaming. That's just not what was happening out there. That was PSG holding us at arm's length for most of that game and letting us do some stuff. We didn't really harness the fabled power of Anfield on a European night. You've got to go out there, guns blazing, aggressive, in their face, unsettle them, throw a bit of caution to the wind. Instead, what you had was PSG silencing the crowd, passing around and doing what they wanted for 25 minutes. It just was meek shite, which I knew it would be, because it's been like that most of the season. It isn't changing. this. I mean, talk about how can you destroy 10 years' work in like the space of 12 months? Everything just feels completely unbalanced in the squad now. The right back spot is like Spinal Tap's drummer. It's just cursed. Everyone gets injured there all the time. It's completely interchangeable. It's a new face all the time. Of course, Ekitike got injured. Of course, he's gone off. I mean, when it's like a yin-yang effect, like Isak comes back, so then the other one's got to be injured. Like, it's just been an absolutely appalling season for Harmony. And as Dave has said many times, it's not like we've had lots and lots of injuries, but like the inability to just get anybody, anything approaching a normal team on the pitch is completely thwarted at all times. It's just, it's demoralising is what it is. This isn't like, again, I've said this before, and everything has been said before. We're repeating ourselves, and it's really difficult to sort of come up with new ways of saying the same thing all the time. But this could be any Liverpool team. In the last 35 years, apart from the 10 years of Klopp, this is just like any other Liverpool team. Like, it's got these players in it, that you've got these good players, just need one more player, or should be this or that, or, and it's just like, there's no grit or determination from these players. Like, I can blame the manager for a lot of it, but also, it just doesn't see, I get like tactics are playing a part, and they might be like unable to sort of decipher what's wanted from them, or put it in, they take it in, but they can't put it into practice on the pitch and all that kind of stuff. I get all that, but ultimately it just seems no grit or determination to sort of get, this sounds like very much old football, man, but like get stuck into games, just like get amongst them and settle them. If you can't beat them technically, then you must beat them physically, and if you can't do that, then you're fucked. And we were fucked because we couldn't do either. At no point I'd have been lying if I thought I at various points there I forgot we were even playing tonight. I mean, I knew we were playing tonight, but it just went out of my mind completely. It was not on my mind as a thing today, because realistically I'd already written the tie off, and that is not something I'd ever have done under Klopp. I would not be writing anything off. He would be like, well, you never know. I don't think so, but you never know. I do know. I'm fully aware of what this team and manager is like. I do know what's going to happen, and it's exactly what happened tonight. So
it's quite humbling, I think, Jules, to pick up on one of the points you made, like physically, like youthful exuberance, technical ability, like stamina. We were over the two legs. We were completely outmatched by them, and it's almost the reverse effect of what it was like when we used to play them in the old PSG era. It's kind of flipped on its head now. Now we're the old, slow, ponderous, disharmony everywhere, like, tactically not up to scratch. And it almost feels like it's a little bit of a new world order, really. And we're on the outside looking in again now, as we were during previous eras. Yeah.
In the space of 12 months.
Cumulative effect over 2 years, I suppose you'd say. Yeah. But, it does feel a little bit like it's a long way back from what we saw over these last couple of weeks towards truly competing with them and challenging at the top. You looked last week at the Bayern Munich Real Madrid game as well. We've gone from being the elite of the elite, top of the table, the team that nobody wanted to face, 3 finals in 5 years, to looking a bit behind the times, I think, over these last couple of weeks especially.
And we spent 400 million quid on it. And the squad, I hate this squad. And I don't mean like the players themselves, although you can make that argument for a few, but I hate the composition of the squad. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel like there are answers on the bench. It doesn't feel like when a substitute is brought on that like it's a tactical maneuver that's going to work and make you play better. The style is the style. And again, if anyone is asking me to describe Arne Slot's style of football, I can't really tell you what it is. I can just tell you as a feeling, which is, that's all. I can't tell. It's just a feeling. It doesn't feel right. None of it feels right. And like,
so when you look out the curtains and see it started raining.
Yeah, I've got.
You're going to go out and do something fun. Oh fuck! It's fucking raining.
There's a picture that I've got of a monkey, like with his face resting against the wall and his tongue out, and it's just like, ugh. It's that. It's that monkey. It's just the subs that come on. I don't feel like they're going to affect any change. It's still going to be the same pace, with the same level of aggression, with the same aimless balls into the box that aren't really going anywhere, or like trusting on suddenly. Again, I knew this at some point. This would happen this season. All now, oh look, here comes Ngamoa. He's going to change the game. It's all on him. It shouldn't be all on him. That's ridiculous to think that. Absolutely ridiculous. The squad composition is absolutely fucked. It's not right at all. I don't have a lot of faith in some of the players that we've signed. I think you can blame the manager, and that's fine. I think you're well within your rights to blame the manager and the coaching for what's happening. But like I said to Dave on Saturday, like, I'm not going to lie to you, Wirtz isn't really impressing me much at the moment. Like, no. I think he's like getting a bit of a free pass in terms of like his contribution. I don't really think he's contributing that much at the moment. Isak just, it's been said before, just doesn't feel like he's a Liverpool player to me. I don't know what it is about him, but he just doesn't feel, it doesn't feel right with him. Kirkes,
it didn't appear tonight, just to pick up on your Isak point there, Jules, it didn't feel tonight like, for me, when I saw the starting lineup and I saw he was in it, I just knew that he was going to do nothing. Just knew.
Because he has done nothing so far. Because he has done nothing so far.
You don't want that from your record signing, do you? Like, you want, he's back and he's ready to go. And like, you look at it and sorry, go ahead.
No. I'm just like, I totally agree with you. And I feel like, just going off that, I feel like torturous transfer sagas never really end very well when the player finally arrives at the club. Like, you want a smooth transition. You don't want torturous
Virgil.
I don't feel like Virgil was that torturous. Because we simply backed out and went, sorry, we're out of order. We said nothing else, and then nothing happened until December, and was like, he signed. That was it. It was just like a bit of acrimony in the summer. And Southampton went, you're out of order, and we held our hands up and went, fair enough. Yep, sorry. And that was it. It was torturous all through last summer, that saga. And then when he gets here, it's like he's not fit. Virg came in and scored a goal in his debut. So any sort of that was a problem. It was immediately put to bed on his debut.
Yeah,
because you can tell.
That's a different argument. That's the argument that you've always made as well, about if you don't get off to a good start, you can't. Yeah.
And he's not got off to a good start, so I just like and again, like, don't anyone listen to this think I want Isak to fail. That is not true at all. I'd love nothing more than to score like 10 goals in the last 6 games, and we go into next season thinking like, there's something there, that's good, that's really something to hang your hat on. But it doesn't feel like there's anything to hang a hat on. McAllister looks like he's fallen off not just a cliff, but off like the edge of the world. He's completely a busted flush at the moment. I don't know if he'll ever come back from that. Gravenberch is just coasting along. Szoboszlai's too busy like arguing with Don Quixote style tilting at windmills of imaginary slights against him from fans or whatever, rather than just concentrating on what he should be doing. It feels so wrong at the moment. Nothing feels good, and tonight it doesn't really. I don't really feel. I'm not angry about going out tonight. I accepted. As I said, I accepted before it even started that I thought we were going out, and this game was this tie was done, and nothing that happened tonight changed my mind on that.
Yeah,
nothing. It's deluded.
Dave, it started for me tonight with the team selection. I listened to you and Dan on Saturday, while I listened to you on Sunday, and you both said that obviously Mo's got to start. He's got the experience in this big game. You've left him out of the previous leg justifiably almost, and you wanted to see Ngamoa ride the hot hand as well. Like, neither of those things happened. So what did you think when you saw the team tonight?
I understood like the thinking behind it, because I'm assuming he's just figured like this is kind of a last throw of the dice. It's like it's do or die, and this is the chance to get the 5 new players on the pitch together. He's waited all season to be able to do it, and that's probably the thinking behind it. But you could see by the way the first half went, it's almost like a team full of strangers. There's no like set patterns or recognisable moves where you can see like this is a well-oiled machine. It was just all, you're just relying on like individual moments from somebody. maybe Gravenberch will turn and carry the ball forward, and that opens up space for someone. But it's not. We're not. You look at what PSG are doing, just the interplay between them and like passing it around and passing the movement, and then you look at what we were trying to do, and it's chalk and cheese. Now, Isak and Ekitike have started one game together, I think, or Isak, Ekitike and Wirtz together had started once, which I think might have been the Frankfurt game. Maybe that was that one. Possibly, anyway, not sure. But only one game, and then you're putting them out for this game against this team. It was desperation. It was, I understand why the desperation was there, and he's thought, well, like, I just had this conversation with my dad. Like, my dad's like, Isak should have been nowhere near the team. Why isn't my boy Rio playing and all that? I'm like, well, in his mind, he's probably looked at it and gone, this is me £130 million centre forward who I've been waiting for all season. We're 2-0 down. I need goals. This is the guy who's been brought in to do that. I'm going to see how many minutes I can get out, and I'm going to put him out there and roll the dice on that. But then he says before the game he's only going to play 45 minutes, and you're like, oh, that's, it's not ideal, is it? And then, of course, you lose Hugo, which you can't do anything about that, but it didn't look good even before that. There was no real interplay between them. And then you contrast it with, like, the weekend, and you see what Rio gave us. And again, like, the point that, like, we was making after that game was he lifts the crowd. We need the crowd to be lifted. We need some, like, the crowd did the best tonight. The atmosphere was no problems with the atmosphere. It was loud. The fans did the best. But you've got to have a team responding to it and capable of producing something. And we just haven't got that, which was why, I was saying I fully expected us to get beat in this game because of that. It's like, yeah, PSG are not going to be beaten by the atmosphere. The atmosphere and the team combined, yeah, that can beat anybody when they're both working in harmony. But the team just isn't up to it, and I don't think he helped himself with the lineup that he chose because, as you said, ride the hot hand with Rio, and then leaving Mo out is a big cut. I mean, Mo was, other than when he came on, he put like the cross in straight away. Other than that, he was horrific. But that's not
tonight.
Really, yeah, I thought he was terrible.
I thought he was our best. No fucking way, dude. He was our most threatening player tonight.
He kept
by a
giving
mile.
the ball away in the second half. He just kept giving the ball away.
It was like about 2 or 3 times that happened.
It was way more than
like
that.
He was the only one sort of getting in behind a little bit. He was the only one who looked.
I agree with that. But there was
the only one.
I don't. You know what? I don't even want
any quality.
I don't even want to talk about it purely because I was thinking about this before it came on about how bad Mo was, and I was thinking, you know what? It doesn't matter. He's ran his race. He's done everything that he could have possibly done for us. Whatever happens now, he just hasn't got it anymore. That's fine. I don't even want to be focusing on that. So I'm not gonna even have that discussion because I don't want to be fighting that side of the argument against it. I just thought he was really bad, but I'm not looking at him going, oh, you were shite. I've accepted it. Like, this is just the way it is now. He can hold his head up high. Same with Virgil. When Virgil has bad games now, I just think, you know what? You've served us so well for so long. If it's come to a point where you're not quite what you were, so be it. Like, I'm not going to hold that against you in any way. It's other players need to be stepping up. And as bad as I thought Mo was, I'm expecting so much more from Wirtz. Like, he does a few little nice things. There was a couple of little 1-2s with Mo. We played a nice little slide reel pass. But it's like, come on, we've got to have more from you. Especially in a game like this. It's a home game where we've got more of the ball. Last week, I understood that was a really difficult game for him. And he still did a couple of good things last week. But tonight, it's like, okay, this is your stage now. You've got to step up. You've got to be the man. You've got to do stuff. And he's just floating around, nice little flick, nice little pass. But it's like, no, come on, we've got to have more. And we just, who played well tonight? I thought Kanate had a good go. I thought he stuck to his task. He was making blocks and, he didn't give up. I thought Kirkers had a go. But the quality isn't there. Who'd you say there?
I'm just... The one thing I remember from Kirkers is that horrific miss at the back post when Mo had played him in with that lovely little ball to the back post.
Actually, that was a great ball, yeah. The right foot shot, yeah.
Yeah, one of the few moments of quality that we produced tonight. And I know you don't want to necessarily talk about, you don't want to fight that side of the argument, but that doesn't mean that we leave it there at he was shit.
You can say whatever you like. I've said my piece, Chrissy. And
yeah, all right, fair enough.
If you want to sort of fight the other side, I'm more than happy for you to do it.
I thought we looked far more threatening when he came on. I even thought we looked more threatening when Gakpo came on as well. But that probably says more about what the other two were doing than him. But I thought Cody gave it a good go and had some decent moments, but nothing off the charts. But to say Mo was terrible, I don't agree with that at all. I thought he was probably our most threatening attacking player until Rio came on, and then actually forced a save. So yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and listen to you slander Mo. We almost the team selection what it was. Personally, if I was doing it, I would have picked some of the players with the experience of having done this before. Right, you got Virgil on there who played against Barcelona, and won the European Cup. Alisson's not available, but Robbo was available. Mo was available, and I would have started with both of them purely for their experience in that game. For Robbo, if you want somebody to get amongst a team like PSG, leave a little bit of something on them. Like for me, he should have been on the field tonight instead of that fucking haircut that we're stuck with now. I'm sick of the sight of his ugly fucking face. Honestly, I am. Fucking ugly bastard.
Do you know a big reason why Robbo didn't start is because Rio didn't start. I feel like that's Robbo's best chance of getting a start now is when Rio's playing, because he knows Robbo can help him and talk him through the game, whereas Kirkes is obviously not going to do that. He's only a young lad himself. So when he's decided he wasn't starting Rio, there was no way he was going to pick Robbo either.
Yeah. I didn't think he'd have picked Robbo if Kirkes was injured, even. It's fucking asswipe.
Yeah, it was a game where I think most of us wanted Rio to play, especially because I put this in the Fulham match report. I've defended Slot over this. I think he's handled Rio really well. Like, he's not put him in when people have been like calling for it. He's not overplayed him, and we're now at the business end of the season, and he's not got loads of minutes in his legs because of the way he's being handled. Now you could unleash him, and this tonight for me was the time when he should have done it. And I seen that starting lineup. I'm like, okay, I sort of understand the reasons, but I don't agree. And yeah, I think Rio should have started. And then by the time he comes on, we kind of lost a bit of momentum anyway. And even then, he brings him on. The plan is to take McAllister off, and something's happened with Gomez, because when he came off, he was talking to the physio, so he's obviously felt something. So then it's like, yeah, Dom, you're back to right back again. Just the whole thing was just so disjointed.
Yeah. Jules, we had that one moment in the first half. Marquinhos makes that incredible block when it looked for all the money in the world as if Virgil was going to put it in. I don't think I know the answer to this, but do you think that goal might have changed things for us and really riled the crowd up a little bit more and sparked something else? Or
I think it has sparked PSG.
Yeah,
I think it have made them kick up a gear. No, I don't. I don't think if this was Footy Manager and you played this game with this manager and this team, these teams against each other 10 times, I think we maybe win twice, draw 3 times, and lose 5 times. I just don't think the metrics are there for us to win. I don't think the tactics are there. I don't think as I've said, the team squad composition is there. I think there's a lot of things wrong. Now, you can't change, as always, you can't change all the players, but you can change the manager, which is why that probably needs to happen. But, the fact of how we approached it, how we started the game was not full of thunder and fury, but sort of like a bit of light drizzle it's just the epitome of what's wrong with this team. It's just it just makes me sad, really, to think that this has happened so quickly. It's really disappointing to see. I really wish it hadn't been like this. But I feel if that goal had gone in, there'd have maybe the crowd would definitely have been up for it. But like, do I trust the team to respond to the crowd? So they score, say Verge taps that in. It's 1-0 all the night. The crowd's going to be absolutely rampant at that point. And I feel for 5 minutes the team will respond to the crowd. And I feel either PSG will step up their performance and sort of make it fizzle out, or I feel like we'll just fizzle out all on our own, because that tends to happen. We have these like little spurts in games, 5 to 10 minutes, where you think, oh, okay, we're building something, and then the foot just goes off the gas, and it goes back to normal. So I don't really feel scoring there. I don't think, as I say, out of 10 times, I think we've only got like 2 wins and five chances not to lose the game. 50-50 not losing. I just don't think we've got it within us. We've just gone out 4-0 over 2 legs. So I think the evidence, again, people might listen to this and decry that, but like, I think the evidence speaks for itself here.
I think you're being generous with those numbers, to be fair. You're being generous to us. 50-50 as to whether we lose the game. I think it was probably more.
No, at Anfield, no. I think 50-50. We don't. I know we've had a really bad time of it this season, and yeah, you should take that into account. But I also think I think that 50% chance, 5 out of 10 losses at Anfield is quite a lot for a team that's meant to be defending champions and spent lots of money in the summer.
Against PSG, though?
I still think so, because, again, there are factors that, in theory, in isolation, should take into account, but again, I'm not going to sit here and argue the toss over it. If you think we're much worse than that, I'm not going to be like, how dare you? I'm going to be like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, again, the record speaks for itself this season, doesn't it? We're 5th. We're out of all competitions, and now we're just sort of looking to try and get back into next year's Champions League, which is like always the most demoralising thing to be. I mean, I suppose the most demoralising thing for the end of the season is nothing to play for whatsoever. But it's always demoralising when your season ends and all you've got to play for is got to get back in that Champions League next year. It's like, great. I said on Saturday, I don't actually think one season out of the Champions League would be the end of the world next season, to be honest with you. I don't think it's a massive drama if we miss out. I don't think Aston Villa, who will probably beat us to it, are going to be regulars in that Champions League. I think if they get into it, they'll probably suffer the same thing they did, and Newcastle do when they get in. They haven't got the squad size or the budget to compete in the Premier League and the Champions League. So I think we've got a very good chance of getting back in it next year, if we make some necessary changes to both squad and manager, because I mean, we're crying out for pace and width. And we pace in midfield as well, like someone who can drive forward from midfield, because McAllister doesn't drive forward. You can hear the beeping sound from him as he reverses. It's just not possible. So in answer to the question, no, I don't think if we scored really would have made a difference. I think PSG would have just stepped on the gas and stepped on us.
We were never going to stop them scoring. That's the. I don't think there's any doubt about that. They were always going to score.
You've just reminded me of something.
Did he say that?
No, well, a couple of weeks ago in the press conference, he was like, well, they always score.
Right.
Do you know what? All through this Champions League run, I've said, worse teams than us than this team have won it and all that kind of stuff. But I was thinking about this, and when I think about the quote-unquote worst teams that have won the Champions League, what I actually mean is they're not very attacking, and their team composition wasn't great, so they relied on defensive solidity, whatever you want to say, to get through. So, I'm thinking of Mourinho's teams, like he won with Inter, he won with Porto, Benitez won with us. I mean, I know the final went like it did, but like Rafa teams were based on like a bit of defensive solidity, and then you go from there. And I'm thinking all these teams that I'm thinking are very good, they're actually just defensive teams that like emphasize their defensive nature, and then were opportunists when it came to taking the game to the opponent, as opposed to like the Guardiola Barcelonas that just blew everybody away, or Real Madrid, who've got like the hoodoo in this competition and that kind of stuff, or even us on the way to Madrid, where we absolutely battered Munich in Munich and stuff like that. And I thought, well, the problem is, like, we haven't got that. This team has not got that defensive solidity. I don't trust them to keep a clean sheet at all. I don't trust the goalkeeper. I feel Verge is holding the back four together with like masking tape. I don't think the full-backs... I like Frimpong tonight and Kirkes are both attacking full-backs, but then you sacrifice... If you're doing that, in theory, you're sacrificing the defensive situation, because if you're going to play defensively, you probably need the back four to sit in a bit more and everybody in front of them to do the work, which wasn't really how it was set up. So, again, this is probably hindsight. We aren't set up to go defensive and like get through by grit and determination. We aren't defensive. We haven't got grit or determination.
We're not attacking.
No, I was about to say we're not very attacking. We don't score a lot of goals. We're not fluid. So what are we? We're just bleh. Bleh. There's nothing to it. It needs an overhaul again. It needs an overhaul. It needs pace on the wings. It needs a fast and aggressive midfielder. And I suppose those are the three things I would be asking for, because everything else in theory should fit around it, should work, and it needs a new manager.
So you're saying that, but I'm just looking at, and I agree with you, but maybe we're wrong, because I'm just looking at Slot's quotes, and he says, "The future looks very bright for this team. We showed we can compete with the champions of Europe." I mean, we lost 4-0. I'm not sure that shows we can compete. But yeah, that's one of the first times when he's said something and I've gone, "You fucking what? Seriously?"
Yeah.
Like, I've commended him for not doing that, but no, that is...
That sounds like a job protection answer.
That's a fucking bizarre thing to say.
He went on to say that full quote is, "We compete with the champions of Europe in our stadium, and to be the dominant team, not many teams can be dominant against Paris Saint-Germain and generate so many chances as we did." We didn't generate that many chances. No. Like three good chances. The rest of the stuff was sort of outside the box, pot shots, a lot of shots blocked.
We dominated for 20 minutes in the second half. Yeah. The first half they had way more possession, played much better football. So yeah, and last week we never even had a shot. So if he did say in our own stadium, but let's not over-egg the pudding here. That was not a really good performance tonight. It was just
got beat 2-0.
Yeah,
went out quite meekly.
Yeah, we played better last year and we still got beaten that game as well.
Yeah, that's worrying.
I mean, he's putting it down to underperforming the XG again, which it's. I mean, come on, it's a lot more than that. Like you said, I think we made a lot of progression compared to last week. I have to give our players a lot of credit, how hard they worked. I have to give our fans a lot of credit. They helped us execute our game plan. And that means if we have a high press, it's so helpful if the fans are there behind you to keep you pushing on. That's what they did. Unfortunately, it's one of the many examples of this season where we weren't able to score from the many chances we had. Again, we were so underperforming in terms of XG, and that's just an ongoing thing with us.
So
who's the coach?
People are going to see the game like that. Yeah.
Even if that's right, which I don't agree with, even if it's right, well, how are you going to fix that then?
Who's the coach? Who's coaching these players to score these goals in front of goal, to take their chances, to improve the XG? That shit doesn't happen magically.
No. You know, when you miss chances, you know what the best thing to do is? Create more chances.
More chances.
Until you score. PSG missed a fucking shitload of chances last week. Yeah. They just kept creating chances until like the goals gone.
Missed a couple tonight as well, didn't they? They would have, killed it on. Like Dembele had that one in the first half that he hooked over the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there was one in the second half as well that he missed before he eventually found his shooting boots and buried the second too. And he pissed me off tonight with that stupid fucking phone celebration thing that he was doing. Smug fucking prick. It's like, if anybody ever won a Ballon d'Or for just there being no other standout contenders, it's that fucking knobhead.
Just
and Enrique can fuck off as well. Yeah, exactly, right. Hope France get knocked out of the World Cup in the fucking first round, and Enrique can fuck off to the Father Jack Hack looking fucking douchebag.
I don't mind him, but he has definitely got a Father Jack look about him. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
What?
Knob.
Yeah,
Enrique looks like Father Jack.
You're not just expecting to just start shouting like "fuck" Arse.
No, he looks like a swarthy Latin man.
No, he doesn't.
No.
There's nothing
He looks like a
swarthy
drunk
about him.
Swarthy,
like a
he's
drunk
got
Irish
a lovely
priest.
tan. What are you on
He's
about?
got a fucking, like, Alex Ferguson cheeks.
The thing is, like, I take all those points about, like, in Dembele, but, like, I just go back to the only way to stop that is to stop him scoring. It's to play better, innit? Like, and our players just didn't play better. They just, they just let him have his way with them.
Freedom of Anfield for both of those goals that he scored, really. Nobody's closing him down, really, for the first one.
McAllister was appalling
Yeah.
for that first goal. They just sent it for the echo, and then didn't he? McAllister's recovery time is like a plague victim in the 17th century. It's like non-existent. So.
He's aged 10 years this season, McAllister.
And not just because he shaved his hair off either. It's weird. It's weird.
He's been taking Fabinho's place at the Toby Carvery, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. Someone gave him a gift card after he won the league. He's had some money off, and he's been down there helping himself to a couple of extra roasties on a second helping.
You can get those VIP ones, can't you? That get you like the full works at every Toby Carvery in the country. I saw that Gerwyn Price, the Welsh darts player, had been given one, and so I reckon he's got like a VIP after the title win, as you say, Jules.
I would say so. He's he's Argentinian. They do like meat, so I think he's been carb loading. And
maybe he moved into Fabinho's old gaff, and Fabinho had just left the membership card lying around.
I reckon when McAllister belches, he can taste gravy. A little bit of gravy there.
I hate this. Like, I hate what Mac has become, because I loved Mac. I've got a lot of time for him. It's just sad watching him. I don't know what's gone on.
Yeah.
Well, again, the problem is the composition of fitness in the squad doesn't seem right. So I don't know if he's like just the apex of shit when it comes to the squad fitness, or if it's something else underlying with him.
So
because
Dom doesn't need that. Dom's naturally got that fitness, and maybe Maka needs the fitness levels of the training and everything he needs to be tip top.
Yeah.
Or this is what we see.
But who's pushing who in the squad? Who? Where the thing is, when you've got James Milner smashing the bleep test at the start of the season, the lactose test or whatever, you're like, if you're like 10 years younger and you're a professional footballer with the ego of a professional footballer, that drives you to be fucking hell. I'm not being beaten by Millie. I'm gonna have to step my game up. I can't be having this.
Well, it was Mo, wasn't it? Mo beat everyone last summer.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Mo this summer, he's not going to be here, but if Mo this summer was doing it, you'd probably feel a bit of professional pride, but like, fucking hell, the season he's just had and he's beating me. That's not
probably
good.
Still would.
Well, no, I don't
fitness, the bleep test and stuff, he probably still would be beating them all.
But like, there's no professional. It doesn't seem to be professional pride there. I don't know. I mean, I'm just guessing. I feel like there's no professional pride because I'm annoyed with them for being shit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the TalkSport argument, isn't it? Like, where's your professional pride?
It's competitiveness, I'd say, rather than
professional I'd say pride. Competitive.
You wanna beat everybody at everything, and I'm not really seeing that.
But I suppose I'm trying to defend McAllister a little bit. Like, it might be a him thing, or it might just be he's the model of the problem with the squad fitness this season, and if that's the case, then it's a little unfair on him. But he does look all at sea. He just doesn't look right in himself either. He's not as like comfortable on the ball, all that kind of stuff either. It doesn't feel right with him either. Nothing feels right with it at the moment though. So
definitely. Parting of the ways, do you think, in the summer, perhaps with Mac or Jules?
Possibly, but again, the problem we've got is the future is uncertain. We think the future is uncertain. Now, it may not be. It might be that the hierarchy have made their decision and Slott's staying and Edwards and Hughes are staying and nothing's actually changing in the summer. I don't know, but whoever's in charge of making those decisions, again, I can't emphasize enough, a dynamic attacking midfielder with who's fast, and can get box to box and can make things happen. Won't be cheap and will be difficult to find, but that like has to be a priority along with the two wide players. It needs that injection of pace and aggression in the team because it's just so limp at the moment.
Something like Coutinho or something like that, isn't it? That's the kind of profile of player that you want in that position.
So yeah, exactly. And if you have to sell McAllister to do that, that's a shame. But they need to identify and find these players because it's crying out for that pace and that sort of stronger, more relentless style of football. Because this limp shit is no good for me. It's just so dull.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable. And do you know what? I'll give a lot of credit to the crowd tonight because I don't really think a lot of those fans in there tonight really believed that they would do it. I think in their heart of hearts, most of them knew that was going to be a tough one to sort of claw your way out of. But they still went there and gave as much as they could, and the reward was the same sort of flat Liverpool performance that you get this season. It's really demoralizing. It's really demoralizing being at these games and like wanting something. You just give us that spark on the pitch, and then we can like. It doesn't. Nothing happens in a vacuum. You need the oxygen from one or the other to feed the flame. And like, if you're starving us of the oxygen, what do you expect to be happening out there? There's no flame. There's no spark. It's just going to be dull in the stands and dull on the pitch, and that's what it is at the moment. The second half on Saturday was interminably dull. So boring.
What is it your boy says, Jules? Can't start a fire without a spark.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely dancing in the fucking dark at the moment.
Very good. Very good.
I did think about saying a different song there and pretending I didn't know, but I thought no, because people will think I really didn't know. So yeah.
Well, we're out, Dave. Anyway, convincingly, not unexpected. Do you want to have a bit of a look ahead at the derby at the weekend on Sunday?
Oh God, do we have to?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll probably end up winning that.
Really?
I agree with what you said. I agree with what you said the other day. That whenever they get a sense that they're on the up and they're in a position ascendant to us, it always spectacularly backfires.
It does
on them.
It does. But I think that the two things will cancel each other out, like our shitness and coming off the back of like a really, disappointing, energy sapping, mentally draining defeat that we've just had tonight, and then we're going there. They're going to be well up for it. I do not see us going there and winning. I mean, it's an unknown because it's a new stadium. But if we were going to Goodison, we were definitely losing this weekend. Cause
do you mentioned the new stadium, Dave? Do you think you said you've made the point and you're right that when the pressure's on them, the onus is on them to win, they sort of crumble. But do you think removing Goodison from that and the sort of effect that Goodison had on them when they were in that situation will make it a bit easier for them at the new stadium?
I don't know, because when I say about when they've got a chance to go above us and they shit the bed, and a lot of the time that's Anfield. The Goodison derbies have tended
that's
to be
different again, isn't it?
Yeah, if the derby was at Anfield, then the theory about Everton shitting themselves would hold a lot more water. But with it being at their place, I don't know. It's a new stadium, so we don't know how that's going to play out. I'm just basing it on we're going to come up against a team that's going to be fucking right up for it, in our faces, playing at a high tempo. We do not deal well with that. On top of that, we're now going to be going into it with no Ekitike. So, not that he's been great lately anyway, but, he's capable of producing something out of nothing. You take that away, you've got an unfit Isak who can't play the full game. So then you're probably looking at Gakpo playing through the middle. None of it just fills me with any confidence. I just feel like we're walking into a bear pit and we're not equipped to deal with it. And I am expecting us to lose this weekend.
Jules?
I think it might be a 0-0 draw. Flat as fuck. But I do wonder if
I'd take that.
Yeah, well, that's a sad state of affairs.
Well, Chelsea are playing United this weekend, and Chelsea just are in an absolute mess. A draw with Everton keeps them further back. If United beat Chelsea, a draw's fine. We're only 3 points behind United. I'm like, how the fuck's that happened?
Because they're shit.
I know, but we keep losing. Like, we win one game and suddenly 3 points behind them. It's weird.
Because we were ahead of them until they sacked Amorim. So it's equalised, doesn't it? So they've won a lot, and you go, they keep winning, but we keep losing. Yeah, but they were shit. They were really shit before they sacked him. So all they win is all it's done is serve to bring them level with us. The fact that like Chelsea are a contender with us, this Chelsea team with that manager is such an indictment as well. They've always been a basket case club, but they don't know what they're doing. If that chant was made for anyone, it's for Chelsea. Their owners, their manager, their players. They're giving out those super contracts thinking they were smartest guys in the room, and that's been proven to be an absolute mistake. The manager, he ain't it. I think we could tell that from day one. He ain't it. Yeah. Their players, there's a squad with a composition that's poor as well. It's just, but like here we are, just a few points ahead of them, hoping that they get beat so we can stay ahead of them. It's an indictment. The facts speak for themselves. The amount of losses we've had, the amount of losses at Anfield, the nature of some of the losses we've had, the fact that we're going into a derby and none of us are confident about winning against an Everton team, which is all right, but they've lost some of their players through injury through the season. They've not had a lot of money to spend. Moyes is he is at least performing to his expectations or slightly above them with the squad that he's got, with the hand he's been dealt. Everton fans may not be happy, are they ever? But I would say Moyes is doing a decent job there. He did a decent job last year, and he's doing a decent job this year. And you just can't say the same for us. We're not performing to our expectation. It's not acceptable. This. You've got to have expectation and levels, otherwise everything goes to shit too quickly, right? You've got to have a benchmark of this is what we expect, and this cannot be what anyone expects. Mm-hmm. To be going to Everton and going, well, we might lose, we might draw. That's not good enough.
You just mentioned Rossini there. Do you think he's been messing with Maka? Because that's what he does. He ages men.
Listen, I remember an episode of Thundercats when I was a kid where there was a fucking tunnel, and the further you went into it, the older you aged. And one of the Thundercats went in there, and that motherfucker was turned into an old man. And only because Chitara's fast as fuck, and she could run into the tunnel, get him and get out. Mac has been in he's been in the Thundercats tunnel. He's so fucking badly aged.
Someone should have sent Frimpong in.
Frimpong would have pulled his army by the fucking 10 fucking
maybe that's
10
what's
yards
happened.
in.
His hamstrings have aged.
Yeah, it's fucking. I tell you what, if Rossini could age men like Maka, then he's an absolute genius at aging men. Because again, Maka, he shouldn't have shaved his hair off. That's not helped his cause, I tell you. Mm-hmm. Maka looks like he should. Yeah. He looks like he's going around saying he's too old for this shit now.
It is mad that we're still in touch with sort of United and Villa and Chelsea. Really, it just shows how shit they've been, because we've lost 10 league games this year. Yeah, and which is incredible. We lost 5 in the Champions League and obviously 2 in the domestic cups as well. So that's 17 games we've lost this season. 17
Facts
games.
Speak for themselves.
It's unbelievable. And United aren't really that much better. They've been deceptively not that good for the last month or so. I think they've won 1 in 4. They lost to Leeds the other night. They lost to Newcastle. They drew with Brentford, and I think they beat Aston Villa in the last 4 games. So, they were dreadful in that first half last night. Did you see it? They could have been legitimately 5-0 down to that Leeds team at halftime. We were just picking them off at will and missed a bunch of chances. So I still, even though we're shit and they're shit and Chelsea are shit and Villa aren't pulling up any trees anymore either, still a half a chance that we can finish third, I reckon. Despite it all.
The only way that happens is if Isak starts scoring, gets himself fit and starts scoring. Because if you're taking Ekitike out the mix now, the only chance that we've got of putting any results together is if he catches fire, and maybe there's some sort of a link up with Vert, or him and Mo start showing some chemistry, I don't know, because that's not been there at all when they played together. Yeah, but
I don't want that happening. Now. If a Mo's showing chemistry and then Mo's going to leave, that's great. I don't want that happening. Fucking hell.
Equally, though, you don't want him going out with a whimper either.
No, well, Mo scoring goals, I couldn't give a shit about his chemistry with Isak because he's not going to be here. If Mo scores goals from now until the end of the season, I'm made up for that. Good for him. It's a good send-off for him. But like, if him and Isak suddenly look like the real deal, I'm going to be like, whoa, hang on, don't be so, not so fast. Where are you going?
Well, I mean, still got a year left on that contract, and a change of manager, maybe a change of heart. It's
going to be like The Simpsons. He's going to be leaping out the window, then back in when he finds out that Slot's not going. Him and Robbo. Oh, that thing we said, we didn't mean it. When we said we were going, we meant for the summer. We'll be back. Don't worry. It's all been misconstrued.
See, Robbo said he wasn't even offered the contract.
Ugh.
It's not surprising, is it? Really,
never
at
got
all?
to that point.
Yeah, I would have been really surprised if he was.
That's not even an Arne Slot thing either. He doesn't deal with that.
Yeah, no, but if Arne Slot wanted a contract offered to him, I'm sure he has a recommendation, right? Like, which players do you think do you want him for another year? Shall we offer him a year? Do you want to keep him around? Like, clearly he doesn't. Clearly he's. I mean, like, he was picking Kirkez ahead of Tsimikas ahead of Robbo, like, quite a lot in the early part of last season for big games. So
Robbo was injured in pre-season now. It took him a while to get up to speed.
To play devil's advocate, though, like, the Henderson contract didn't work out for us. The Mo contract hasn't worked out for us. So the hesitance to offer Robbo, a player who I absolutely, have all the time in the world for and love, and he's been a pleasure to watch, and I'm going to miss him greatly. Again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. You sort of can go, all right, I sort of understand why a contract's not been offered.
Also, he wants to play, and he will have said that, and they've gone, well, you're not going to be first choice. There's not really any point. You're not going to stay to not play, so there's no point offering a contract. I
would prefer him to go somewhere if he wants to play. I'd prefer him to go somewhere he's going to be able to get some games and play, and see out his career as he wants to. He's earned the right to do that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I would have offered him a deal because I think he should have been used more, and I think he's very important to the dressing room culture, which is, like, again, slowly but dramatically being eroded.
Not even that slowly.
Well, faster than Macca for sure, yeah.
All right, guys. Jules, do you want to throw in a prediction for the weekend?
I said 0-0.
You did already, right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Dave?
It's all right.
1-0 Everton.
Oh! When I'm more positive than Dave.
A fucking scrappy, scruffy Beto goal. Or fucking jug ears from a corner.
No, Rooney's retired, mate.
Jug head. Jug ears is Tarkovsky. Rooney's jug head.
I don't listen to the post and pre-game stuff, but Rooney sounds like he's always got a cold.
Yeah.
He always sounds like he's got a heavy cold.
Shouldn't be. He's a terrible pundit. I like him when he's just telling funny stories about, like, mad stuff he did when he was a player, but when he's analysing a game, he's not good.
Yeah. And it's such a hot take merchant as well. Like, fucking, every week he creates some stupid fucking headline that then everybody else has to follow up. That sets the agenda for the week, doesn't it? Whatever stupid comment he's come out with on a BBC podcast or a BBC column or whatever.
Yeah.
You'd be a hot take merchant if you had a cold all the time.
Yeah, I'd be a hot lemon merchant if I had a cold all the time. Well, I think we're going to win.
I was going to say, what's your prediction?
I think we'll win 2-1. Mo and Robbo. Suck on that.
Alisson saving a penalty.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's going to be shit when we don't have them four anymore, isn't it? Mo and Robbo and Virgil and Alisson. And,
yep.
Ugh, the worst. Anything else? Well, we didn't quite follow up on this, but Slot has commented on the Ekitike injury and says it looks really bad. Hugo looks really bad, but it's difficult to say how bad. Let's see, it doesn't look good. That is clear. I didn't see him at halftime, and after the game, he was already home. I've not spoken to him yet. So yeah, like we might not see him until like Christmas now. If that's a torn Achilles.
He gets away from the ground faster than me.
Yeah.
Steady. I don't know about that.
It's the kind of injury you see in basketball, isn't it? That Achilles tear. Like there's no contact and the player just crumples in a heap, and you think, oh fuck, that's 9 to 12 months straight away.
It's one of the worst ones to come back from as well.
Yeah, devastating.
So innocuous. All he did was just took a step and it just went.
Sums up the season, really, doesn't it? Yeah, not just the nature of the injury he got, but again that Isak is now back, and then as soon as he's back, they're on the pitch together for like half an hour, and then nope, nope, now you're done. It's
last time it was they were on the pitch for like 15 minutes. It looked dynamite, and then Isak broke his leg.
Was that Spurs? That was Spurs, wasn't it?
Spurs, yeah. And then it's the reverse today, but the same principle. They're just not fated to be on the pitch at the same time.
You know, if you're on a slot, maybe you take that as a sign. As like, do you know what?
Yet another sign.
It's just not going to happen. I just can't catch a break here. I just cannot catch a break.
As far as cursed seasons go, I think, there's not much more evidence that if curses exist. Like Danhausen's saw on a slot. Danhausen's a wrestler, by the way, and
is he?
Wrestler who dresses up as a vampire and curses people.
I mean, is he a wrestler? I mean, he's sort of
non-wrestling fans listening to this are not going to be converted.
Yeah,
do you know?
Yeah,
you're not doing a good job of selling it.
No,
his backstage skits are pretty funny, but I think they're pretty funny if you're a wrestling fan. I don't think they're pretty funny if you're not a wrestling fan, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to you.
We've just lost half of our audience there. Yeah. We've just switched off.
My friend Paulie always says that whenever anybody who doesn't like wrestling comes in the living room when he's watching wrestling, it's like always Danhausen on the screen. He's like, oh, why has it got to be the most hokey, fucking carny, stupid, lame bullshit in the world? Anyway, that's beside the point. The season is cursed. I think Dan said it the other night. It felt cursed since the parade. Really, nothing has really gone right. A huge mix of tragedy and injuries and defeat and contracts and players leaving and others being marginalised, and just the sooner it's over the better now, really, isn't it? Just get us through these next 6 games and then we can just forget about footy for a little while, hopefully, and recharge a bit, because this is no fun.
Yep, it's miserable.
Yeah. All right, Jules, anything you want to sign us off with? Anything cheery you want to sign us off with?
There's only 6 games left.
Hooray! Nice.
The fact that you're going to Jules for something cheery over me is like, that's where we're at now. This is a sad state of affairs.
Hey, hang on.
No offence, but
well, there is offence, clearly.
You were always the pragmatic one.
It's pragmatic, and it's being like no, fair enough.
I didn't want to come to you, Dave, in case you did your best Stu Monty and slag Mo off some more.
I told you I'm not saying anything else. People can form their own opinions on the game.
It will not surprise you to know that I fall somewhere in the middle. I think Dave saying he was appalling was like, that's a bit much. I think he did try to make things happen, and I appreciate the effort in trying to make things happen. But I think Mo is suffering from I've said it, multiple times, a massive crisis of confidence. And I think it's affecting him way more than we realise. I think physically he's got a problem. He's struggling to sort of adapt to the new world order that his body is not as quick as it used to be. He's still quick, but if at the top level, that split second that you were making the decision is now not there anymore, it makes all the difference, doesn't it? And I just feel really bad for him, and I wish that unfortunately it seems to be a thing that when Liverpool legends bow out, the team they're bowing out in is dog shit. it's just like it's very rare that you get to be James Milner and bow out in like, you know, in good order with like the future still looking bright when you leave. Like Mo's going, giving it the full Gerrard retiring at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. No, we're not cheering anybody up here, lads.
No, summer's on its way. It's only 6 weeks.
That's on you.
Yeah.
You went to Jules to give like to perk everyone up. And
I perked everyone up. Like, summer's on its way, boys. It's only 6 weeks left of the season. NBA playoffs start on the Celtics on Sunday. It's all good. That's one for Chris. Aren't you in the play-in? Are the Heat in the play-in or what?
We're in the play-in tonight, yeah, and I hope they lose. Otherwise, it's with the 13th pick of the NBA draft. The Miami Heat select somebody who's never going to be that good. Yeah, all right. So we're done, right, Dave? Nothing else you want to?
No, I think we're done. Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, if you sat through that, again, thanks for listening. I'm sorry we couldn't deliver a more upbeat pod for you, but Dave and the boys will be back after the game on Sunday. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you soon.